So today I'm going to talk about something that I've been watching on YouTube and I've written down here. The title is "A Simple Guide to Overthrowing a Nation," featuring the CIA. And these are just guidelines which the CIA have been using. The CIA has been notorious. It's like a terroristic agency which has been responsible for chaos, overthrowing of governments, coups, assassinations of leaders. They do all this election rigging and all that. So, number one, um, the first point in the guidelines of overthrowing a nation is choose your country. And today I'm going to talk about this person. This person is the late Venezuelan president Hugo Chavez. He ruled Venezuela from 1999 and 1998, sorry about that, until he's dead in 2013. So Hugo Chavez was a paratrooper. He was a military person. So he tried to overthrow a government in 1994, which backfired. Unlike Fidel Castro, whereby he was able to overthrow the government of in Cuba in 1959, whereby it was backed by the U.S. He was a socialist. He was an open-minded person. So, and then Hugo Chavez got elected in 1998. He won a sounding majority. The following year, in 1999, he changed the Venezuelan constitution. He gave powers to the people. Democracy is about majority and minority. So he gave the rights to the majority, how he could criticize his government and all that. So fast forward it's on April 6, 2002, and there is tension in Venezuela. So this time, Venezuela was like going a period of difficulty. I can't say it was just difficulty. Like a new regime had come. So Hugo Chavez was just he came from a football match, and he was wearing his jacket, a red jacket, and he had a whistle and he had a red card. So he was calling directors of PDVSA oil company. Venezuela is one of these countries which is OPEC countries, which are the ones which produce oil. So he was calling them because they were corrupt. So when he calls your name, he gives you the red card. That means you are fired. So this actually angered the United States of America because it didn't know. America felt that this guy is after their interests. You see, America does not care about the people. So what US does is they create tension and like in the point, like I've said, choose your country, that's Venezuela, creating instability. So they create instability through demos, strikes, protests, and all that, and weakening the political system. So this is what they were trying to do. They nearly did it, but it backfired. So after that, they replaced. After this, Hugo Chavez was arrested by people in the military, those who were displeased by him. And after that, in point number 3, it says replace him with puppets. So a puppet by the name of Pedro Carmona was a businessman. So he was appointed, he replaced Hugo Chavez. This Pedro Carmona was backed by the US. And Washington was denying that they never overthrew the government. They did not take part in the coup. And actually, they are the ones who backed Pedro Carmona. So Pedro Carmona comes in, he destabilizes the political system, those corrupt military officials, and all that. And also, point number 2, you find your inside man, Pedro Carmona. That's all. Propaganda in use, the military revolution, and all that, and gather popular support, military support, all that. Pedro Carmona had everything. Now the problem came here. So Hugo Chavez is in jail. He has been taken to an island. So Pedro Carmona, he never knew that Hugo Chavez was a military person. So the presidential guard that were there, they said, we cannot allow this person by the name of Pedro Carmona to delegitimize our commander in chief, Hugo Chavez, went and he was elected. This guy has not even held an election. He has just dissolved parliament. He has dissolved the judicial system. He has weakened actually everything. So what we are going to do, we are going to reclaim our country back, and we are going to take Hugo Chavez back. So the coup started crumbling when the presidential guard took over, and those who supported Hugo Chavez came, and they said enough is enough, all that, and many people died in that protest. So after that, the coup crumbled. A helicopter was sent to take Hugo Chavez from prison, and then he flew back at night. And when he came back, he found his supporters, thousands of supporters they were there at Miraflores, and he told them, "You go back, go and sleep. I'm here. They will not take over the government." And he even joked, and he said that these people even don't know how to take over a government in Spanish. So after this, the opposition was quiet a bit, but the opposition in Venezuela, will even up to date, are backed by the US, because they believe that US will be their savior, and that's not the case. So Hugo Chavez, he did a tremendous job in those period in the period that he was in president. He actually made sure that there was education system had worked, healthcare. In Venezuela, people could eat 3 meals a day, and actually Venezuela in its number four. It was number four when it had the best university student leadership, unlike other countries. But he ranked Venezuela to have the best university. If you go to Venezuela, you'll find that they have the best universities whereby you can read a lot of things. And actually, Venezuela is called Bolivarian Republic. It's named after the liberator, Simon Bolivar. Actually, if you look at Venezuela, it's bordered by Colombia, Bolivia, and Ecuador, and all that. So he's credited for doing that, and he hated imperialism by the West. He hated America because he said that America has been responsible for the atrocities of Latin America. They were responsible for overthrowing governments in Guatemala. They were responsible in overthrowing a government in Chile, which had been democratically elected. They supported death squads, suicide squads in Honduras, El Salvador. They supported military dictatorships in Chile, Peru, Uruguay, Paraguay, and Argentina, and all that. And unfortunately died in 2013 due to cancer. Nicolas Maduro took over from him in 2013, and he won with a resounding majority. And actually, Hugo Chavez is the only politician at that time in the world to be elected 4 times. And these were not elections that were rigged. He was elected by the poor Venezuelans. He was alikuwa anatetea maslahi ya watu wanyonge of Venezuela. So he was, and even Jimmy Carter, when he was going to be in the observer of that 2012 election, he said that this election was free and fair. He never jailed any opposition leader. I know the Western media keep propagating lies about anything that this guy did. Although he was not perfect, but he did a great job. So if you look at this happened in 2002. Does it not ring a bell in 2018, 2019, whereby a similar event was going to happen to Nicolas Maduro, of which I'll do a part 2 still on why is it like America. This happened during a Republican president, that is George Bush. A similar thing nearly happened during Nicolas Maduro, and a Republican president by the name of Donald Trump was the president of US. So he wanted to overthrow Nicolas Maduro. And remember, Nicolas Maduro took over from Hugo Chavez. He did not use the back door. He did not use the military. He took over because he was the vice president. Before, he was a foreign minister. He was a bus driver and all that. So Nicolas Maduro took over. An election was done. All this I'll give a part 2 in the next, let me say, just today I'll just give a part 2 series of what nearly transpired in Venezuela. And actually the coup plotters were arrested So the US was trying to infiltrate there. So